Hi there, Beer Mishdale here with the first of what I hope will be many beer reviews on this channel. Today I'm reviewing Lough Gill's Anderson's Irish Red Ale. Lough Gill are a brewery based up in Sligo, and I shall be reviewing several of their beers over the course of the next few videos. This is their red ale, of course, and it's coming in at 4%, so it's a rather light beer. And when coming into a beer like this, a low strength red ale, you're not expecting it to be the most full-bodied, most flavoursome beer that there ever was, but you're still expecting there to be a certain degree of character, or a broad enough range of flavours, so that while it is low in strength, low in body, it still should be tasty, as well as being sessionable. One beer that springs to mind that achieves this is Wicklow Wolf's Wildfire Red Ale, I believe it's called, which, while being very light, only comes in at about 4.5, 4.6%. It still has a lot of flavours. It's still rather flavoursome, fuller body maybe than some red ales, but still rather light and very tasty and enjoyable to drink while still being sessionable. Also, one important thing for me anyway when I'm drinking a red ale, and I understand that it's unusual and it's perhaps not something that's expected for most people when they're drinking a red ale, is that for me the beer should evoke an almost, sort of feelings of coziness. And a red ale to me is the sort of beer you drink on a winter's night, it's raining outside and you're sat at home, the warm comfort of your living room, and the flavours, for me anyway, the flavours just evoke that sense of coziness, sense of warmth, comfort. I suspect this isn't something that is shared by many people. It's pretty weird, but that's what red ales should evoke, for me anyway. A good red ale will do that. But anyway, regarding the beer itself, appearance-wise, it certainly looked the part. It had a one-finger off-white head, good levels of retention, some lacing on the side of the glass, so a fair bit of lacing on the side of the glass. It was a mahogany colour, slightly darker than maybe what you anticipate your average red ale to look like, but it looked the part, it looked well. And indeed it smelled the part too. Not an overly aromatic beer by any means, but the aromas that were there were to style. There was some light caramel flavour, a lot of malt. It was a very malty beer indeed, and the malt flavours that were there had a sort of, you usually say malt is bready or biscuity, but it was black bread. I felt there was a lot of in this beer, pumpernickel bread, rye bread, that sort of thing. It almost reminded me of a kvass or kvass, or however you may say it. A lot of black bread, but of course, the aromas that were there were rather faint. It didn't really hold up though on the taste, however. It was very malty, that black bread malt all the way. Pumpernickel bread, that was the predominant taste of this beer. The caramel flavours were light. The nutty sort of flavours you'd expect from a red ale, they were there, but they were also light. And on the finish, there was almost this burnt taste to it. Instead of there being like a light smoky malt aroma, it was a burnt taste along with some light bitterness on the finish that wasn't particularly pleasant, and the burnt flavours really actually did heavily impact on the beer's quality and the taste of the beer anyway, and it was not that pleasant, to be honest. However, where this beer really falls down is on the mouthfeel, because it is style in the sense that it is light-bodied, and it is medium to high carbonation. It has medium to high carbonation rather, but it is exceptionally thin in parts. It is almost like drinking sparkling water in part. It really just doesn't have anywhere close to enough depth of flavour to be properly enjoyed. And while it is supposed to be light, it is just too thin. All in all, while this is certainly not the worst red ale I've ever had, it is certainly quite far away from being the best red ale I've ever had. Those burnt flavours really detracted from the overall quality of the beer, and while it was, it was okay, it wasn't a beer that I would recommend to anyone, unfortunately. But not the worst beer in the world either. And based off my scale, which I have explained in the description of this video, I would give this beer a 57 out of a possible 100. That concludes this video review. Thank you for watching. If you have had this beer and you either agree or disagree with my views, feel free to comment down below, or just comment whatever you like. Frankly, I don't really mind. Please give this video a like if you have yet to do so, and please subscribe if you have yet to do so. Cheers.